Hey guys, welcome back. We are here with CC Cycle 3, week 23. This is our second to last week before we are all done for the year. And we are kicking things off with the distributive law today. So we have the distributive law, which states that A, opening parenthesis, B plus C, close parenthesis, equals A times B plus A times C. And we do this to kind of a sound off. I'm going to try my best to do it without a helper right now. It sounds like this. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. The distributive law is good to know. The distributive law is good to know. A opening parenthesis, A opening parenthesis, B plus C close parenthesis, B plus C close parenthesis, equals A times B plus A times C, equals A times B times plus A times C. CC Math Week 23. CC Math Week 23. Sound off, 1, 2. Sound off, 3, 4. Sound off, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is how we do the distributive law for math. Next up, we have English, and today we are learning the 4 sentence structures, and they are pretty simple. And speaking of simple, the first sentence structure is simple. So simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. And those are the 4 sentence structures. Simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. 4 sentence structures. For history, tell me about the preamble to the U.S. Constitution. So for this, it's a pretty long preamble. And so we are going to pick a few hand motions that will help trigger our memory for each of the sections in the preamble. And it goes like this. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, tickle in my eye, ensure the domestic tranquility, we wave a peace sign during that part, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And that is how we do history. For Latin, we are covering John chapter 1, verse 7, and it says, ut testimonium perhibit de lumina. In English, that's to give testimony of the light. And this week we hid, or I should say I hid cards again around the class that just had the Latin terms on there. And while we played that portion of the Latin song from King Things, they searched for all the words, and then when they could put them up on at the table and put them in order so that we could see how it goes. And this is what it looks like in the end. So we have ut testimonium is the same for testimony. Prohibit is to give, or we learned it this year as bear, right? To give, to bear, to hand, right? So prohibit, to bear, or to give. And then we have day and of, and lumina and the light are all the same thing. So that's how we covered Latin. And next we have timeline. And for timeline, we are learning the age of information and globalization. So for the age of information and globalization, we're going to take our hands out like we are typing on a keyboard. So the age of information and globalization, and that is from 1970, or you could just do 19. So 1970 to the present. So age of information and globalization, 1970 to the present. Then we have Watergate. So we're going to do a wall like this and take 2 fingers like we're looking around the wall like spies. So Watergate and President Nixon resigns. This is the sign for resigning. 2 fingers pulling them out of your fist. Then we have the fall of communism, same sign for communism, in Eastern Europe. So we're going to make an E in Eastern Europe, and for the Europe, we just circle that E around our temple. Then we have European, another E, European Union formed. And apartheid, take our fingers like this and pull them apart. So apartheid abolished in South Africa. And then we have that in the timeline song, we say 2000 AD, 2000. And then we have September 11th, 2001, representing the towers that fell during that time. And we just learned that last week, so that should be fresh on our memory. And then the last one is rising tide of freedom. So for that, we're going to do the sign for freedom, which is take your fist like this, and they start here, and then you go free. So rising tide of freedom, and then we're going to rise it up and do it again, rising tide of freedom. So you just do that twice, one down low and one up high. And that is our timeline. For geography, we are doing prominent features. And so we in class today for the prominent features drew hearts around all of the prominent features. So for the purpose of this review video, I'm going to show you the map that I just created here. But we have here the Olympic rainforest. Then over here we have the Black Hills. Down here is the Grand Canyon in Arizona. Then over here we have the Ozark Highlands. And then up here by the Great Lakes is Niagara Falls. And then down here is the Okefenokee Swamp. Kind of a fun word to say, but Okefenokee Swamp. And those are our prominent features. And last but not least, we have science. And for science, what are some ways Earth's history is preserved? Some ways Earth's history is preserved are rocks, fossils, ice, tar, sticky tar, and amber. And just an explanation on the amber. Amber comes from resin, which is liquid out of trees. So we do liquid, as my youngest daughter would say, you gotta wiggle your fingers. So liquid coming out of the tree, and when it hardens, it turns to amber. So it's rocks, fossils, ice, tar, and amber. And when that hardens, it traps in any insects or critters that were crawling around and were attracted to that sweet resin. And then it hardens into amber, and we can see those insects preserved in the amber. And that is all of our memory work for week 23. If you have any questions, as usual, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for week 24. Bye.